Hi, it's Katrina! Some of the rarest and most unique wildlife on Earth can be found in the Galapagos Islands, a mostly uninhabited archipelago located roughly 600 miles off the Ecuadorian coast. From blue-footed birds to swimming lizards, here are 8 amazing creatures of the Galapagos Islands. Number 8. Blue-footed booby. You know you want to say it. The Galapagos Islands are home to around half the breeding population of the blue-footed booby, a species of bird that resides off the western, south, and Central American coasts. This carnivorous bird grows between 32 and 34 inches tall, with a wingspan that reaches up to 5 feet across. The otherwise drab-colored blue-footed booby is best known for, if you haven't already guessed, its bright blue feet. Why are their feet blue? The color comes from the carotenoid pigments that come from its diet of fish. They act as antioxidants, and the bluer the feet, the healthier the bird. Their mating ritual is equally as unique, with the males using a slow-paced, high-footed strut to attract females. Between stepping, a bird will bow his head as part of the dance and then reach towards the sky. His next move is to give the female a gift, and if she's still unimpressed, he starts the entire ritual over. As a general rule, potential mates with bluer feet are considered more attractive to females. When she's happy with a male's advances, she'll join in the dance. If things go well, the female will lay 2 to 3 eggs. The Galapagos Islands are made up almost entirely of hardened black lava, so the birds will defecate all around their eggs to give it a soft, cushy nest. Not quite glamorous, but it gets the job done. Number 7. Fernandina giant tortoise. In February of this year, the Ecuadorian government announced the rediscovery of the Fernandina giant tortoise, a species widely believed to be extinct for over a century. Until then, the last time a Fernandina giant tortoise was seen alive was in 1906. The adult female, estimated to be over 100 years old, was spotted during an expedition by the Giant Tortoise Restoration Initiative, or GTRI, a collaborative effort between the Galapagos National Park Directorate and the Galapagos Conservancy, whose long-term goal is to restore previously seen numbers of now endangered and extinct tortoises throughout the archipelago. Officially speaking, the Fernandina species was considered possibly extinct by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, or IUCN, until 2015, when a ranger from the Galapagos National Park discovered its feces. At that point, the Fernandina giant tortoise was reclassified as critically endangered. Then, earlier this year, the expedition tracked a live Fernandina giant tortoise by following its feces, footprints, and bedding, first noticing the specimen from nearly 2.5 miles away. Although the female is suspected to be more than a century old, the species can live for up to 200 years, giving scientists renewed hope for restoring the highly threatened tortoise. She was taken to a breeding facility on Santa Cruz Island, where DNA tests are being run to confirm her species and where she will potentially be bred. Wacho Tapia, the director of GTRI, considers the discovery of a live Fernandina giant tortoise to be a major career achievement, as well as a sign of potential progress for saving the species. It created hope for people to know conservation is possible and that changing human activities is necessary for it to continue, Tapia stated in an interview with National Geographic. The best news? Experts believe, based on feces and footprints, that there are other Fernandina giant tortoises alive on the island. Number 6. Flightless cormorant. This species is endemic to the Galapagos Islands and is both the heaviest and only flightless bird of 29 cormorant species. Because it can't fly, it is confined to the northwestern coast of Fernandina Island and the eastern coast of Isabela Island. The flightless cormorant's wingspan is only 1/3 of the length necessary to fly. Their wings evolved to be shorter than that of a flying bird because the species' lack of land predators made flight unnecessary. Generally speaking, snakes, owls, and hawks are the only land predators the flightless cormorant has to worry about. Additionally, as the species evolved, genes were passed on by individuals that were better swimmers rather than better flyers. Adults have bright turquoise eyes and are black on top and dark brown underneath. Like the blue-footed booby, the flightless cormorant is known for its unique mating dance. In the case of the flightless cormorant, the courtship ritual is performed by a male and female intertwining their necks and lightly twirling around in a circle. At first, both the male and female take turns feeding their chicks, which hatch after 35 days of incubation. Eventually, however, the female leaves to start a new breeding cycle, which she does up to 3 times per season, and the proud papa takes on the responsibility of raising the roost. There are only an estimated 1,000 breeding pairs of flightless cormorants left. The species is threatened primarily by fishing, which depletes their food supply and puts the bird at risk of becoming entangled in netting. Changes in the environment, such as El Niño, are also particularly dangerous to the species due to its small and concentrated population. And now for number 5, but first, have you ever been to the Galapagos Islands? Let us all know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe if you're new here. We'd love to have you! Number 5, the Galapagos sea lion. The Galapagos sea lion is the most abundant marine mammal throughout the archipelago and is one of 2 seal species found there. They also breed just off mainland Ecuador on Isla de la Plata. Because the Galapagos sea lion is not a true seal, they're able to gallop across land and can move faster than a person can run over rocky terrain. Males are up to 4 times heavier than females and have a distinctive bump on their forehead, making them easy to distinguish. They're also darker than females. These animals are efficient hunters thanks to their streamlined body shape and their ability to dive up to 600 meters deep and to stay underwater for up to 10 minutes at a time. Their main prey are sardines. Yum. The Galapagos sea lion has an inquisitive personality and spends a lot of its time resting along the beach, where males stake their territorial claims. More dominant males have bigger territories, which means more available females for mating. Visitors to the island are likely to see this abundant population along the coastlines. Number 4, the Galapagos American flamingo. The Galapagos flamingo is a genetically distinct, smaller version of the American or Caribbean flamingo, and is the smallest and one of the most brightly colored flamingo species out of the 6 that exist. There are only 350 flamingos left on the Galapagos Islands, making it one of the most endangered of the Galapagos species, and it's listed accordingly on the IUCN Red List. The bird's color, or more specifically, the brightness of its distinctive pink shade, is determined by its diet, like with all flamingo species. The amount of carotenoid pigment the bird ingests from food sources such as algae, crustaceans, and microscopic plants affects its color, similar to the blue-footed booby. Galapagos flamingos live in saltwater lagoons near the sea and feed primarily on brine shrimp. They perform synchronized mating dances and lay a single egg when successful. For the next 30 days, both parents incubate the egg in alternating shifts. Newborn chicks leave the nest almost immediately and join a creche, or a group of baby birds, that is usually supervised by 3 elders. These birds are one of a few select species who nurse their children via a special throat secretion, which is bright pink due to their intake of carotenoid pigment. The Galapagos flamingo is unique in its ability to reproduce within a small population, whereas populations elsewhere require large numbers for successful breeding. Number 3, red-lipped batfish. This unusual bottom-dwelling fish is unique to the Galapagos Islands, despite being related to other batfish species. It can usually be found near the archipelago on the Pacific Ocean floor, at depths between 3 to 76 meters, or on sandy reef bottoms up to 120 meters deep. The red-lipped batfish grows up to 8 inches in length and has a light brown body, a white stomach, and a grayish back, as well as brown dots from the top of its head to its tail. Its fluorescent red lips give the fish an appearance as if it were wearing lipstick, or had just finished a delightfully bloody meal. The fish's fins work sort of like legs, enabling it to walk and perch as it hunts for other small fish and small crustaceans, such as shrimps and mollusks. Its scientific name, darwini, was given in honor of Charles Darwin, who spent much of his time deriving his theory of evolution in the Galapagos Islands. Number 2, the Galapagos penguin. Fewer than 1,000 breeding pairs of the Galapagos penguin are thought to remain. They dwell primarily on the islands of Fernandina and Isabela. It's related closely to the burrow-dwelling African, Humboldt, and Magellanic penguin species. The Galapagos penguin does not burrow, however, because there's no soft peat available. Instead, they live in caves and crevices provided by the volcanic atmosphere. The Galapagos penguin is the only penguin species found north of the equator and has genetically adapted to the heat. To regulate their body temperature, the Galapagos penguin avoids the sun, outstretches their flippers, pants, and gains relief from swimming in the cool water surrounding the islands. This species only weighs up to 5 pounds and grows up to 19 inches in height. According to the World Wildlife Fund, the Galapagos penguin is an endangered species and is threatened by pollution, climate change, and bycatch, or being caught unintentionally. In the past, mortalities of up to 77% have been caused by strong weather events, such as El Niño, resulting in reduced breeding success and the decline of prey species. Invasive species such as dogs and cats also pose major risks to this dwindling population. Number 1. The marine iguana. The waters surrounding the Galapagos Islands are home to the world's only marine-dwelling iguana. This species is notorious for being ugly and was even referred to by Charles Darwin as hideous-looking and most disgusting clumsy lizards. However, while they may not exactly be beautiful in the eyes of most, they are certainly not the homeliest creatures on Earth. The typically dark gray marine iguana reaches between 4 and 5 feet in length, but only weighs up to 3.3 pounds. There are various species endemic to each of the archipelago's islands, varying in size, color, and shape. Scientists believe iguanas made it to the Galapagos Islands by drifting there on logs and other debris, and that they adapted to their marine environment at least partially as a result of this journey. Despite the iguana's rough and tough appearance, they are gentle herbivores who feast primarily on seaweed and underwater algae. Their fierce-looking claws are designed for gripping rocks rather than prey. The marine iguana is so well adapted to the seawater, they even contain special glands that cleanse their blood of the extra salt that they inevitably ingest. While invasive species such as rats, cats, and dogs undoubtedly impact the marine iguana population, the exact level of the threat to their survival is unknown. However, they are classified as vulnerable and are protected. Thanks for watching! Hope you learned something new today. Let me know your favorite animal from the Galapagos in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and I'll see you next time. Bye!